Hello everybody, my name is Tiffany, I'm the Tipsy Artist, and today we are going live to do a really beautiful vintage water pitcher for the garden, and it has some beautiful roses on top and also some cotton stems. So we're going to learn some fun new techniques to paint all of those surface areas. And then let me go ahead and show you the traceable too. So we've got a fun traceable. We provide graphite paper with this, so it gives you every single detail, makes it very fun and easy. Hi Bobna, welcome. I hope life is wonderful in the UK today. It is actually really lovely today here. It's cloudy and gray, but it's cool, and I'm enjoying the coolness of the day. So, all right, so anyway, these are really fun. And I just started doing these. I do a lot of work for you on the front end so that it makes it that much easier for y'all. And I'm working as fast as I can, but I'm getting to the point where I'm going to get all these uploaded for you in a digital way too. So, beautiful and very hot over there. Oh no, I'm sorry. Man, you must have taken it from us. It's been that way here, but it's finally cooling off a little bit. So, well, I'm sure we'll be hot before too long. It is August here in Oklahoma, so. Alrighty, so we've got this all done for y'all. Hello, Mariah. Welcome. Okay, so let me show you the supplies we've got here too. We've got paint, and then I've got a lot of brushes. Yay! Just a whole bunch of brushes today. And a rag, and a bucket of water that's stuck. Oh my gosh, so funny. It's really stuck. Oh my gosh, I got it. That was weird. Okay, so there's my bucket of water. And then I have paint. So I've got a bunch on a plate here too. So I've got plates. I just use basic plates to, use as my palette there. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna go ahead and start with a beautiful light gray in the background, and I'll use a bigger brush. So I'm gonna get started with a big dollop of the white. Hi Cindy, welcome, welcome. All right, so big dollop of white, teeny tiny amount of black. So I just barely touch into the black, super tiny amount there. And I'm going to push that into that color that will give me a really pretty light gray, super soft and light. And then I'm going to go ahead and push this into my background, do little bitty cross strokes here. And I'll get pretty close to that edge. I'm going to use my smaller brush to do the cut-in work. But a little bit of a cross stroke here to give it some fun texture, so it looks like I make little letter X's over and over again. And then when I do my cut-in work, I'm going to be using my little bit brush. So I'll do a little twist into that same color, just kind of twist it out. That loads up the brush, but it twists it into a nice fine point. And then I'll go ahead and do my cut-in work around those line edges. And I don't know if y'all notice, I'm actually working on a different surface area today. I'm testing it out for the first time. I probably should have tested it before going live, but oh well. Who has time for that, right? But this is a really fun texture paper, and it's actually designed more for watercolor. Back in college, and I do so many paintings, I was kind of wanting to test it out a little bit again, because I do a lot and we're running out of room. So I thought, well, I'll give paper a shot. It'll be easier to store, so we'll see how it works today. But it basically has a tooth and a texture to it, a lot like canvas, so we will see. So little tiny X's. Still kind of working that in here. Getting the big sections done. Hello, hello. All right, now let's go back to my little bit brush. Little twist here into the paint. So I've done work on paper before, actually even just copy paper, and it does receive acrylic paint pretty easily. It's also nice to know in case you are on the pandemic budget. So, you know, it provides options. Because you could use a digital and then you could just use paper and then just paint. You still have to do the paint and all that good stuff, but and I still need to provide, when I ship stuff to you, I always ship graphite paper to you to do the transfer with all of our line work now, which is really fun. But the other thing I need to do for y'all, I need to do another video. Have not done it yet, my apologies on that. But I need to do another video that shows you how to actually do transfer with just a pencil. So it takes a little bit more work, but it's still very doable and easy. So I need to get on that. All right, just kind of roughing in some of that background color in there. And my Sharpie will still bleed through, which I like. I was kind of wondering about that, but I can see that it is definitely peeking through. So I'll firm that up here in a little bit when I go back over the details. So just kind of cut in, hold it like a pencil. I'm going to add a touch more black to this to give it a little bit more of a gray hue in here. I'm kind of running low on my gray. More here. Again, just holding the brush like a pencil. This gives you nice control with your brush. So we woke up to 63-degree weather this morning. Man, I felt like I was in a different world. Especially in August. That's kind of bizarre for this part of the world. A little bit more cut in work here around our little flowers. All right, I'm going to switch back over to my bigger brush here and just kind of feather this out a little bit. I'm going to do little light cross strokes. My Sharpie is bleeding through successfully, so I love that. So I can just go ahead and do kind of a rapid cross stroke over the top with this really light gray. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish working that all in. Nice texture there in the background. Oh, I have a little bit. No, what is that? That may just, no, that's background. I was thinking, is that a leaf? No, it's background. Okay, so I'll go and push that in, a little bit of background there. And just a hint more here. And a little bit more there. Do a soft light touch over some of that and there just to make sure I get all that background peeking through. Don't want any naked spots there. Okay, so yay, now we are done with that. All right, now I'm going to be working in a darker gray for my vintage picture that's happening here. So I think I'm going to switch gears to a smaller brush. This is Little Buddy, and I'm going to be starting off with that dollop of white first and a little bit more black this time. So push that together because I do want it to be a darker charcoal color. Alright, and I always keep a little bit of white handy nearby too so that I can kind of touch back into that for the mix. Alright, so I'm going to be pushing this in and around the shapes. This is quite a bit darker, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful this time with my cut and work into this shape. So this stage is what I call color blocking, and it's just filling in the solid background into the shape, so working into the big iconic shapes that we've traced out. So in this case, that would be our little lovely water pitcher here. And still continuing with the little cross stroke, but just making it quite a bit smaller. Hello, Tom, welcome. So again, just little tiny crisscross, crisscross. And a lot of times I know I tell you to turn that brush more over to the side, parallel to the canvas. But in this case, our charcoal gray has really good coverage over the surface area. So you can actually just go ahead and leave it in, more of like a pencil stroke to begin with, in terms of the hold on your brush. That way it'll give you really nice control as you work in and around little details. And then it still gives you a nice opportunity to get really good texture over the surface area. Getting close here, so got this little handle to do. I may have to switch over to my little bit here in a moment because it's getting pretty teeny into some of these little areas here. So handle peeking through here. All right, we're getting really tiny now, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to a little bit brush. All right, so this is my little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a little twist between my fingertips into the paint. And I need more paint. I'm gonna load up more, add a little dab of white to this. All right, so that's helpful. And then definitely still just continue the hold, again, just like you're holding a pencil. Come right towards that surface area. But just filling in that dark charcoal color. A little bit of like half circle patterns. I'm just getting the base color in. Again, this is our color blocking phase. So when I do come back in later for detail work, which is going to be a lot of black at the very end of the process, then I'll be firming up some more of these fine lines at the end. But for right now, again, just getting our little color blocking done. Okay, this is very exciting. We have a lovely picture painted. Okay, so now what we're going to do are beautiful roses, and still starting with the color blocking first. So that means we just do the solid colors to begin with. So I need to switch palettes. I've got another one loaded up here with some prettier, well, those are pretty too, but different, I should say, different colors, like red and white, for our lovely pinks and all that fun stuff. Okay, so I'm still using, no, I'm not either. I'm gonna put that up. I'm going to switch to my Mama brush. Okay, so here is Mama. And then this is some red that I've got, and then a little bit of white. So we push a little bit of white into our red, lighten that up a little bit. And then let's do little lumpy circles into our roses, because that's actually what they start off as. And if you do need to switch over to Little Buddy for some of these roses are pretty tiny, so you may have to switch to a smaller brush. Good afternoon, Rhonda. Welcome. So again, still color blocking. This is just getting that solid color into those shapes. And our roses always look like little lumpy circles to begin with, and it kind of scares people sometimes. They think, oh my goodness, what's happening? But I promise it all works out. Hi Dinah, welcome. So many of these little roses here. So we're still going to paint all these in. That is super snazzy. Okay, so those are our roses. Let's see here. Now I'm going to do the pattern. I was trying to think, do I want to switch gears to cotton or, oh gosh, decisions. I think I'm going to continue on with roses for just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to be using my Mama brush, not Mama. What is this? This is a little bit, sorry about that. Okay, and then white paint. All right, so here we go. We're going to do like little tiny half circles or parentheses, and we'll just keep pushing those around in a circular pattern. And I'll do this all over the surface area of all my roses. So this is actually a really pretty stage. This is when we start to see the roses really pop out over the surface area. So again, it looks like little half circles, or just tell your brain it's like making a parenthesis shape. Start filling that in. And I just repeat that same pattern over all of these little shapes. So lots of repetition here. Yeah, this is one of my most favorite stages. Once you get into this, it becomes really fun. Oh, thank you. Hi, Jessica. It's good to see you. Yes, I'm trying to think why I did this for the first time. Oh, I know. I'm not even drinking yet. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm just super, I don't know, dingy. Tipsy, that's right. Just tipsy today. I made one of those fun little emojis and they didn't have a cowgirl hat. And all they had was a French beret. And I thought, well, that's appropriate because, you know, it's kind of a trademark for the artist. So I wore it to match that. Yes. So, you know. And I think I really kind of like it. I don't know. I know it's easier to film with because it doesn't create so many shadows. So that part is a lot easier. Yeah, so how is Kansas? And you do a lot of paint projects too. Like with Junk Gypsy paint projects. What's that? There's a certain kind of paint you do. Chalk paint, yeah. Which I still really need to do. I still have never done. I can't believe it, but I never have. I'm just so busy doing this one thing. I never have time to branch out and do other things. And that's kind of sad. I keep thinking someday. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and do the darkest color next. Definitely a repeat of the same pattern we just did, so lots of repetition. So I'm going to take that same little bit brush, but this time I'm going to dip into a little bit of red. So there it is. I'm going to hit it right in the center with a little spot. It feels like you're making a little comma. And then from there, you just go on and repeat the same thing you just did with like a little parenthesis shapes, just a few. All right, so Kansas is great. I've been so busy. I was in the city over the weekend and thought about taking a detour to Guthrie, and then it goes ... I'll have to read the rest later. Oh, and hi, Jamie. I'm just now seeing you. Hello, hello. Welcome. And thank you so much. Yeah, you should. It's funny. If you're just now coming to Guthrie, we may miss you. We're normally always here. After I get done with this class, I'm actually going into Oklahoma City to go shopping for this. It seems so weird to me. I'm buying clothes that are going to be nice, that won't have paint on them. And I never do anything except paint. And so that's sad, isn't it? Well, no, it's kind of cool. But then again, sometimes you're like, oh, wow, you should get out and do different things. So I'm going to a wedding. My niece is getting married. And I have nothing to wear because everything I wear is splattered with paint. Everything. So, or I have the classic black dress. It's a formal event, and I have all these classic black formal, dresses. But there's no black allowed at this wedding, so I have to get something bright and beautiful that doesn't have paint on it. So, wish me luck. That's what I'm going to go do today. It's going to be weird. Never. Oh my gosh. It's weird. I just don't go shopping that much. All right, so as a recap, we're almost getting done with all of our beautiful little roses here. Like a little comma right in the center. Little push, and then lift off with the right hand. And then little like parentheses that come all the way around. Oh my God, I need a new wardrobe too. Everything has paint. Yeah. So you understand. It's the hashtag the struggle is real. Yep. And I've also been back on the internet going, what are the cool kids even wearing these days? Like, I have no idea. I'm so out of it, you know? It's crazy. Like, I'm gonna have to figure it out. I used to be such a student of fashion all growing up. I knew who all the top models were. I had stacks of fashion magazines by my bed. I knew every rule. And now I know nothing. Sad. Oh, okay, so here we go. I love roses and I love you, beret. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start wearing this a little bit more. It's a little bit easier with the filming process, as I mentioned earlier, not as many shadows. Yay, so we have cute little roses now. All right, my next step will be to do some of the cotton. Thank you, Leota, and welcome. All right, so now I'm gonna take my little bit brush again and just do a little mix of the white, mostly white on this, and maybe just a touch of light gray, but again, mostly white. And I'm gonna go ahead and push into the little cotton shapes here. And that Sharpie line will bleed through, so when I come back in to refine my details here in a moment, then I will be able to go back over the top of that. We're going to be coming back over that with a kind of a dark brown. That will be the stem work of our cotton. So speaking of cotton, I actually lived in West Texas for a really long time. I have not been there in years. I don't even, oh my gosh, I just don't know. Like it may be 15 years since I've been there. Hi, Lo. And I am a graduate of Texas Tech University, Lubbock, Texas. And I'm actually headed back there. So I suppose it's appropriate that I'm painting cotton today. So I'll be heading back to Lubbock. Praying that I do not get in a, this is gonna sound weird, but it's called a haboob. Some of you are like, what in the world is she saying right now? So that is a giant dust storm, and it happens a lot there because of all the cotton fields. And it is very overpowering. It looks like those scary scenes, like with the Sahara Desert and the storms, you can't see anything. It's the same thing that happens, but it happens out in Lubbock, Texas. And you better hope you are not driving in a car when it hits. It is so scary. So anyway, we're hoping that doesn't happen when we go there. Those are so, Yeah, I want to be in a hotel somewhere with a glass of wine when it hits. So, yes, hello. Okay, so we did our cotton color blocking. We did our roses. Now we need to go ahead and do lots of fun greenery. Okay, so now, little bit brush again, and we've got our green and our white, cadmium green, a little bit of white. Mix that together. Do a little twist into the paint here. You can also kind of make this a bit more muted, which I think is really nice with this particular painting. So you can take a tiny little touch of the black, and then you can push that into your cadmium green and your white, and it takes it to more of like a sage color. So that's also really pretty. And then I'll kind of do that little twist here. And we're gonna start to do these really pretty little leaves. And the shape of the leaf kind of feels like the letter V with a little bit of a curve to it. So these are very fun. There's also another style of leaf that you can do. It's way more simple. So let me show you that one too. So this one, I'll just make one, well, this is a good shape right here. So looks like you do parentheses, and then parentheses, and then just fill it in. So that's another super easy way to do that. So I'll just keep filling all these in here. A lot of leaves. Another really pretty color for a leaf that I have in the model behind me too is a really pretty turquoise color. So that is equal parts blue, green, and white. So blue, green, and white, and that will give you a really pretty turquoise color. And the blues that work are like a cobalt blue or even a cyan blue, cadmium green, and white. Is that a, oh, that's a piece of cotton. Okay, all right, avoid that one. It's like, I remember that guy from the Trace. He kind of threw me off a little bit then. Could be a big leaf though. Either way, it wouldn't really make any difference. Lots of little detail work here. Remember to keep twisting your brush into the paint. That will help out a lot to give you more control over the surface area. I need to mix it more paint. Another dollop of green, another dollop of white. Let's mix that together. Little tiny touch of black, super tiny amount. That's cotton right there, that's cotton, so I'm gonna leave those alone. They're a bit more rounded, that's the giveaway there. But if you do happen to touch up some of those with green, it won't matter. Cotton there. And these are teeny tiny cute little leaves, little baby leaves. Just kind of lightly touch into those. All right, so that's beautiful. Okay, so now what I want to do to help define my cotton is more cotton. That will be, we're kind of getting to that fun outline part now because we've done pretty much all of our color blocking. So now we're into the fine details. So a lot of outline. Okay, so now what I need is a little bit of some brown. So I'm going to mix this up by using some cadmium red and then a little bit of black, and that will help me get a brown. And that's what I'll use for, you know, I'm a little rusty on cotton terminology, but I think it might be called the stock. I don't know though. I could be wrong. Probably am. I don't know. Feel free to correct me if you want to. So, okay, so cadmium red, a little bit of black. This will make a beautiful brown. Mix those two together. Really pretty dark, rich brown. So I'm gonna do a little twist now with my paintbrush. nice fine point. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a nice refined line over the top of the stem here for the cotton. So when you do these little details at the very end, it really helps, it helps so much in terms of making things really pop out over the top and looking a lot more refined at the last step. Because up until we do this, you're gonna see just some, you know, it looks a little bit raw and rough. So we just need those little details. And then take note of what I'm doing with my pinky, stabilizing my hand so that it remains steady through that process. Hi, Larry. Why, thank you. Thank you so much. I brought out the French beret again. I know you like it, so. All right, so we are doing some refined details around our little bits of cotton now. So it's just a little, you know, thin, tiny line. I hold a brush just like you would hold a pencil. Now, as I do place my pinky down to help stabilize my hand and do these more intricate moves, you can also do that. Just make sure you place it in a position where there's not any wet paint. So just be careful where you do position your pinky. All right, and as a recap, this is just some of our brown, doing the stems of the cotton. And I mixed up a little brown by using my cadmium red and black. So that works just fine to make some brown. Has a nice, rich, kind of mahogany quality to it. So little rounded areas here for the details. See, that's already, you can tell it's just helping a lot. Just even that little bit of detail coming in. And also, when you're working at home, most people work with this on a flat surface area. So that gives you a much more freedom to add water to the mix with your paint to allow you to kind of spin that into the mix to give you a finer point as well. So that's also something fun that you can experiment with more. As I paint live, mine's usually always in a vertical position, so it's very challenging for me to use water in my mix because of the you know, that effect of it maybe potentially running down the canvas. But you can certainly be, I would be cautious with it, just super tiny amounts. But you can kind of spin a little bit of water into the mix with your paint. And then it really helps you have like teeny tiny fine lines and good coverage over tiny areas. And you can also, acrylic paint's very versatile in that you can add more water to it and it can take on the characteristics of watercolor too. So you can play with those effects as well just by adding some water to it. But just make sure that it is completely flat and then, you know, you should be fine. Got a little bit of cotton up here. And then do a little touch of white with a clean brush. So now what I want to do, I've got more outlining to do, and I'm really kind of loving this dark brown, but maybe with a little bit more black. But I like the warmth of that red in there, so I keep it really dark, almost like a super dark teak brown. So I do a little twist into that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use this to do the outline work around the picture. And this will really help a lot too. Because even some of that picture, that was getting a little bit lost. But once you get that little outline down, then it helps, you know, give it that little punch and pulls it right back out to the front. And then also I like the fact that the brown tones, they work well with that vintage quality. All right, so I just made a line through an area I should not have made a line through. That's what's called a teachable moment. Okay, so we just need to fill that back in with some gray. So I'm gonna do little buddy here. Got my light gray again, darken it up just a tad with some more of that black. We're gonna pull it to that charcoal again. Want a nice thin line. And then I'll just push right in there. Because see, that piece is coming out to the foreground. So I needed to go ahead and correct that a little bit there. All right, so easy fix. And still just working in these little details now. Again, this is that dark brown color. Got little ring shapes here. That little handle. I'm almost done. I've got, see the handle up here, I need a little bit more there. Okay, and then I've got a little bit of detail here. This is just kind of a fun little scrolling doodad. Have a fun little whimsical element there. Hi, Megan! A teeny tiny little spiral shape in there. All right. And I knew there was something over here I needed to get. There was one little leaf in there I felt like I missed. So I'm going to go back in with my little bit brush. And there it is. There's that little leaf. So that is very helpful. Okay, and I'm going to do just a little bit of a darker, just a few little touches of some defining lines around my leaves as well. So I'm going to take that same brush that I just had in that sage green, I'm going to go ahead and push into a little bit of some black. And we're going to, it's not quite the point that I want. Yay, thanks for the love. But I'll just add a few little touches of definition in here. So little soft touches, almost looks like a light little sketch of that darker charcoal. And I'll just lightly go over and do just a few little touches of outline around those leaves. Remember to keep doing that little spin between your fingertips to rotate the brush into a nice fine point. That all goes. Let's do these down here. And do remember to keep doing that little spin, because if you don't, the paint will fill up the brush and make the bristles spread out, and then you will see that nice thick line as it hits your canvas. Take you by surprise. I'm gonna do just a few light sketches of that. Just a few of those in here too to kind of help separate. Just creates a little hint of a shadow, kind of a nice stylized way. And that extra black line, that is definitely very optional. I have lots of paintings where I just keep it very raw and light, and then I have other paintings where I do come back in with a little bit more of a stylized outline effect. So it just depends on what you like. You don't have to come back in with outlines around things. You can keep it very soft. Kind of has more of like a watercolor feel to it if you omit those outlines. All right, that is looking so good. I love it. Super, super cute. So yay, I think we're done. This is very awesome. So this is our vintage watering can. And it has roses and some cotton up there at the top, so very fun. And then let me show you the traceable that we've got. I think we have a template on this too, template kit, but also we've got the traceable kit as well, so it brings in all that detail, makes it very fun and easy for y'all. And then our kit comes with everything that you need, lots of paints and brushes and all that good stuff. Canvas, everything, just comes with everything that you need. So have fun with that. And then we also just made a new page on our website called Host Your Own Paint Party, and we basically just ship these big kits off to you that have everything you need for big groups too. As always, they can start at just one person, but they can go way on up to, I think I went crazy and even said you could have 50 people. Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah, so do that. Have a big old party. Yeah, but we can ship everything to you, so it's awesome. So yes, that is it. We are so done. It's so beautiful. I'm so happy with how it turned out. So yay. So, well, y'all have a beautiful rest of the day. I'm going to go shopping today for formal wear. Because I need something that doesn't have paint on it. We talked about that earlier. So yes, it's going to be awesome. And then I will see y'all again for sure Thursday at 12:30. I believe I am painting a Scarecrow. And my lovely little fly friend come back to see me. So again, yes, lovely little Scarecrow. We're doing that on Thursday. And that's going to be really bright and colorful and fun. So look forward to seeing y'all then. But y'all have a beautiful rest of the day, and we'll see you soon. And if you have any questions or need to look at anything online or contact me, just visit me at tipsyartist.com. And we will see you soon. Mwah.